And a good Thursday, everybody. Welcome in Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. He is Big Joe Dubin, fresh from vacation. I'm Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier, back at the studios. We're live today at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines, and always excited to be here. JoJo, welcome back. How you doing?
It's good to be back. I was out cell service for a few days. It's glorious to unplug from the world, and now we're back, and I miss you bozos, and we're good to go, man, and good. Get away and have a good time. So, yeah, anything happen while I was gone?
Hendon Hooker signed with the Titans.
All right, so I saw that last time on the plane, but it's April Fool's. I'm thinking, I'm not falling for this.
No, it was real.
So we have Jim Wyatt at 12:30, right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask Jim, on one day, don't send anything out, because I didn't think that was real until I got the email from the Titans last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, surely the Titans aren't doing April Fool's jokes. They would never do that.
They've done it before.
And I was like, all right. Then I see that Hendon Hooker signed with it. Good, they already got a backup. I guess you get another camp arm, right?
Yeah, but it also, to me it says Will Levis is gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which I think we knew that, but now we know it even more.
And then when
I'm
they
going to adjust his camera while you talk.
And then when they draft Pavia in the 7th round, there's another camp arm they got. And so to figure things out, I have no idea where Pavia goes. But, good. Hendon Hooker, that's it's funny. I looked at his age. He's 28.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was older.
So good. As our good buddy Tim Hasselbeck says, until all 32 teams tell you to kick rocks, keep your dream alive.
Yeah.
So good for him.
So we'll talk to Jim Wyatt at 12:30, and then obviously get the latest in the NHL world with hockey at 2 with Greg Wyshynski.
Hey, what's going on there with them?
Well, right now they're out because LA won last night. So they are out by a point. The Kings with 78 points, Predators with 77. They've lost 3 in a row. But the Predators play tonight against the LA Kings, so a win puts them back in.
And a loss puts them 3 out.
Yes.
You're doing the pregame. You need to send a little note to Brunette, have him play in the locker room before the game. Say, look, man, just tonight.
They're going to zoom me in, and I'm going to be like, boys.
Wait, am I on? Am I muted?
Robbie! Where's Robbie?
Oh, my gosh. Is this thing on? What the hell am I doing here today? Oh, my gosh. All right, well, they got to get a win tonight and then make it happen. Look, the Devils and then the Canadians and then Tampa Bay, right? The last Sunday?
That was last week.
Yeah, that's the last time they played.
Yeah.
So get it done. That's the 3 losses they've got.
Yeah. So they're done with the Eastern Conference, and now they got to get things going on this road trip. 5 games, all on the West Coast. And so if they can, these head-to-head matchups are very important.
Oh, yeah. Sweep all 5 of these games, come back, and let's go to the playoffs. I need some games here in late April to go to.
It would be nice.
It would be
nice. So how was Key West?
It's the most beautiful place on earth.
I know. It is your favorite place.
It is, right? So I tell people, take the trip. Go. I went solo. Go.
Yeah.
And I knocked off 2 bucket list items. I saw the Beach Boys Sunday night at the amphitheater, which is on the ocean, 80 degrees. And Mike Love was the only Beach Boy that was there. He's 86 years old. He comes out and sings the first song, and I'm like, oh, boy, this is going to be a long night. And it was not good. First song was not good. And then for some reason, the backup band said, all right, we're going to help you out. And I don't know why they didn't do it from the start, and it took off. And I'm telling you, man, it was a religious experience. In the last 30 minutes, the Beach Boys are going to be here at the Ryman in August. Go see them. It's only one guy. I don't care. But it's one guy that's still part of the band. So go do it. Go knock something off your list and go do it and see that.
Because he pretty much has it now, right?
He does.
Because Brian's gone, Dennis is gone.
And there's 2 other guys, Dave and Al, I think, who have retired. None of them get along. I'm like you, man. I do a deep dive into Wikipedia about why people don't get along. And they all hate each other. Like, all these bands hate each other. And that's why, the Stones have been together so long. You got to have some sort of mutual respect for each other. I'm sure they might hate each other too, but to stay around that long. So it was good. So take the trip, folks. If you go by yourself, go by yourself. Doesn't matter. Get it done.
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line. driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe, I know you've missed doing this. What is our question of the day?
So there was a guy on the boat. We went out to the Dry Tortugas to visit a national park who fell asleep on the boat and got sunburned bad all over his back, and he couldn't move. I'm thinking, God, what is the worst sunburn?
You had somebody give you some lotion, and you started feeling better.
They said, look at this big well over here. I was covered head to toe, man. I was good until my towel fell off and my shins burned. But what's the worst sunburn you've ever had? I mean, ever had in your life that's so painful that you know that you never will experience that pain again? What's you? Some race?
Nope. It was at the beach. It was like spring break 2007, 2008. And I, for the first time in my life at that point, used spray-on sunscreen, and I didn't rub it in. And so literally my legs were like two-toned.
Yes.
Like half were good.
Right?
The other half were, I looked like a lobster.
Painful?
Oh, it was terrible. And then my back.
Oh.
My back was just absolutely awful.
So did you not have a shirt on?
On the beach, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you forget to spray your back, or somebody do it for you?
No, I sprayed my back. Like, I tried to do it myself, and then I gave it to my buddy, and he supposedly sprayed it, and he sprayed NWO, so I had the NWOs.
That's great. You can't rely on your friends for anything, man. I've learned now. I'm head to toe, man. I'm good.
Like, I'm an Irish boy, so I'm going to burn.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
right? When
I was in Orlando a few weeks ago, I burnt at the pool.
I mean, it happens. You get it done. I mean, my worst was in college, too. I had no idea what Bacardi 151 was, and I discovered it, and I passed out on the beach in Daytona, and I got burned on the back. And then our good friend, Reno Riggins, we had a party the night, does a two-handed slap on my back, and I crumbled to the ground. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, and I blistered everywhere. I'm like, I'm never doing that again. So I'm just, you try to not get it sunburned, but I'm just curious, what's the worst sunburn you've ever had, and where were you?
Yeah, I mean, that's how, like, Ricky did that to me one time. He didn't know I had sunburn, and, like, slapped me on the back, and I literally had tears in my eyes. And he was like, what? And I'm like, I have sunburn. Please don't touch me ever again.
Oh,
Like,
I understand it,
awful.
man. Yeah.
Like, absolutely awful. So.
Well, we'll go out to, like, the race, like at the Speedway, and there's guys wearing tank tops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how? And they're just red as the sun. And I'm like, man, I feel bad because they know what's happening, but I wish I had the attitude of, like, I don't care. This is what's going on. And they don't.
1931 says, what does Big Joe do for a living? I think you're listening to it.
Man, I just show up. I'm like a porch cat, chasing them feed me, and then I'm on the way. I don't do much for a living. Try to stay out of jail, which is, as I've told you on this show, I am petrified of going to jail. Petrified. I'll never go to jail, ever.
I feel like you hold your own, though.
No, I don't like closed quarters. I don't like being confined. If we go to eat at like a booth, like around here, I'm not sitting inside the booth.
Yeah.
I am on the edge because if there's a zombie attack, I'm out.
Yeah, I feel that. Our question of the day is presented by Aries Tactical. Your safety, your skill, your Aries Tactical. First-time shooters shoot for free. Just tell them that I, Chase McCabe, sent you, and check them out at ariestactical.com. So a couple of these have come in. Dave says you got to go scuba where the statue of Jesus is, or snorkel. It's a religious experience for sure. Mold doesn't grow on it. Very wild. Key Largo, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
Byron says, Disney World my freshman year wore a mesh shirt. My pride hurt more than the burn.
Oh, that would hurt so bad.
4312, Talladega 2014. My wife got burned up and she bathed in sunscreen. I, on the other hand, am blessed with the ability to tan. Amazingly, I put zero sunscreen on and got nothing. The wife hates me for it.
See, now that talk about God-given. I mean, that is.
I feel like you tan pretty good.
That might be the sweetest thing you've ever said to me.
You got sun-kissed skin.
Thank you so
You're a
much.
little red on the back there.
I have a
Your neck's a little red.
because the hat didn't come down on the back part. But the shirt
I thought you
came
were just
up.
going to say that's because of Hermitage. But
Man, Frazier, was he like this the last 3
I'm
days?
kidding.
I mean, he had a good sense of humor to him, but I don't know if it was that far.
I'm loving it.
I'm kidding.
I like that. That's a good one. The Hermitage zing. I love that one. Somewhere Mike Organ's crying and driving like a roided up weightlifter somewhere.
Rayon City about to come get me.
Yeah, so stay out of Rayon City, people. It's the best place ever. We only allow certain people in Rayon City.
4959. I'm from here. I can make that joke. Summer job during college, building pole barns on the roof all day. Burnt so bad, had blisters full of fluid on the back. God. Couldn't sit back in a seat or take a shower without intense pain for a week.
What was he building?
Pole barns.
What is that? Is that Rick Barnes' brother from Poland? I don't know. Pole barn?
Dr. Crane, explain what a pole barn is.
I believe a pole barn, my assumption would be it's a bunch of poles that build a barn or for for animals. That's my assumption.
Yeah,
is that simple?
Yeah, and you can build like barndominiums now with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like these. You've seen these.
Oh, okay. It looks like a shed.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I told you I would be the worst pioneer ever. I would die first day.
They're cost effective, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he likes that.
So I feel like Dr. Crane would be like Michael Landon in Little House of the Prairie. Like he could raise 12 kids and work 5 jobs. Right?
I told you I started watching Yellowstone, and I have decided that Dr. Crane is one of the Wranglers. Like he would be working for Rip, one of the Wranglers. Like he'll go out and
who's Rip?
Rip's like the main Wrangler guy, like that works for the Duttons. Okay. He's like the right hand. He takes care of stuff.
Oh,
basically.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's one of them.
He might, and look, Dr. Crane might be Rip, but yeah, I could see him just lassoing a bull and riding his horse.
What's the thing that they not a toothpick that they always have in their mouth chewing on? A cowboy does.
Like hay?
Is it hay they're chewing on?
Tobacco?
Yeah, tobacco.
No, not tobacco. It's like hanging out their mouth.
Yeah, it's probably hay. Straw.
Straw. Okay. Yeah. All right. I see Dr. Crane doing that. Like, how you boys doing today?
Man, like Clint Eastwood?
Why not?
He's got his mustache going, and like when we go to Turkey and get his chest hair.
Well, we had the guy from Mike and Molly on last week who did the movie with Clint Eastwood, and he said instead of Eastwood doing a scene, instead of saying it's a wrap, he'd like, we're done, and he'd like walk off to the trailer. I think so. That's what we do. We're done, and move on and get it done with. But yeah, I'm curious about the worst sunburn because this guy on the boat, man, he was in pain, a lot of pain.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, we're going to get Big Joe's thoughts on some of the Titans things that have happened while he was gone and get him caught up. Jim Wyatt going to join us at the bottom of the hour. It's Chasing Big Joe on a Thursday, 102.5 The Game. Well done. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines.
Is that Luke Bryan?
Yes, it is.
I'll have to request that you never play another Luke Bryan song again on this show.
I can gladly do that.
No, I'm kidding.
What's wrong with Luke Bryan?
I'm kidding. Hey, his son's supposed to be a pretty good quarterback at one of the alphabet schools down south.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
FRA, BGA, CPA,
oh, yeah.
One of those schools.
Yeah.
One of the schools you rich boys go to.
I believe it's BGA.
Oh, good job there, Nick.
Or CPA, one of the three. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Nick, I love you, man. Never changed.
That's a good question for one day. It's like, who was the most what athlete has like a famous parent that's done like accomplished stuff, like that's been on the next level?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
I always go back, like, this has nothing to do with athletics, but Michael Nesmith from the Monkees, his mom invented liquid paper.
Oh, wow.
So, they're worth hundreds of $1 million because of liquid paper. So it's one of those things. And I'm sure there's other athletes who have famous moms or dads.
Yeah.
I just can't think of any right now. And I'm too lazy to Google.
Well,
got to be somebody.
I mean, like, this is the reverse, but, like, Mark Harmon's dad, I think, played in the NFL, and then Mark Harmon becomes this famous actor.
Was dad won the Heisman Trophy, too.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be more out there of a famous athlete who had.
I'll have to think on it.
I guess famous non-sports parents.
Yeah.
That did that.
I'm sure there's more.
Actors or God, now you got me going on this. Good job, Jim.
I feel like there's an obvious one too. We're not.
Absolutely, there's an obvious one. An athlete who had a famous mom or dad, like actually more famous than them. We'll see you guys at 3. All right, take care. Try to figure out.
So while you were gone, we mentioned Hendon Hooker. The Titans also signed running back Michael Carter, who is with the Cardinals, in a pair of wide receivers, KJ Osborne and Lance McCutcheon, who was on the practice squad some last year with the Titans. I bring this up. We talked about Hendon Hooker a little bit.
Yeah.
Does bringing on yet another running back after you have Pollard and Spears, they re-signed Chestnut, and you have Superman that's also on the roster. Kyle. So now you bring in Carter. Do you feel like this gives you any indication on that they wouldn't take Jeremiyah Love at 4?
What's this guy, Michael Carter? I don't think I've ever heard of him.
He's a backup running back.
Yeah,
I
don't think I've ever heard of him.
I'm just saying because of – I don't think it has any indication either. I wanted your opinion.
So, no, I think it's Love unless somebody trades up to get Love. I think they want Love, and so I guess adding pieces don't –
Mike Borgonzi was adamant at the owners' meetings. He said it multiple times. We'll ask Jimmy about this here in a few minutes. We're going to take the best player available.
Okay.
And if you look at all the mock drafts and you look at all the player rankings, Daniel Jeremiah just did his player rankings, his fourth version of it. He has Jeremiyah Love as the second best player in this draft behind Fernando Mendoza. This wasn't the mock draft. This was just rankings.
Right.
But then you look at mock drafts, and most people have the Jets in Arizona taking one of the pass rushers and Love falling to the Titans at 4.
Well, to me, the Jets are the X factor because you don't know. That's a crazy organization.
And they could trade out of it.
Exactly, and get some more assets to go forward. But if it sticks like it is, I think Love falls to at 4. And I think it's perfect. It would be so good. But until that card goes up there and you see Jeremiyah Love, I will not be convinced that he's their pick because of what you just talked about, the Jets and the Cardinals. I mean, both those teams need so much. Cardinals need a quarterback. I saw one that has Ty Simpson now going 3rd. I'm like, no, that's not happening. It can't. So I still think it's going to be Love. I think it'd be a great pick. But if it's not Love, then give me Reuben Bain. Worst case scenario is both those guys are gone. Then get David Bailey. So you're in a good position
Bailey
to grab somebody good.
I mean, I think any of those 4 players you'd feel good about.
Yeah.
Now, you'll love this. Robert Saleh was being asked about, the pick and everything. And he was adamant in saying edge rushers are playmakers too.
They are.
He's like, we need a game-changer playmaker, and that can come from either side of the ball.
Oh, I like that. Well, I mean, you think about that. When Curse hit the ground in 99, you're like, all right, I get it. And then the Titans have always tried to find that, even different coaching staffs, different front office people, you're always trying to find that Javon Curse, and you haven't. I mean, the Derek Morgan pick in 2010 was not good. So you never got that guy back with your first pick.
I mean, we've talked to Jeff Fisher about it. And I've heard Floyd say this and others. They don't go to the Super Bowl without Javon Curse.
No, they might be 8-8 that year.
Yeah. I mean, he was that much of a game changer.
He wrecked everybody. And so, look, if it all goes to plan at 4, you take Love, then you got Ward and Love, and then you'll figure out the rest goes in there. But you got 2 excellent, I think, playmakers going forward. You got a good receiver, Robinson coming in here, and the 2 other boys, Ayu Manor and DK, and then Gunnar Hillman. You've built something really nice right there, and you've rebuilt that defense. So if Love is taken out of the equation and you get Reuben Bain or Bailey, I think it helps just almost as much, but it's different because it's a different side of the football. And, I know the best player involved. Like, I always hate when people ask, who's the best player ever in football? Well, you can't ask that because Dick Butkus is the best linebacker of all time. Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver. Are they the best players? No, it's 2 different positions. And so who's the best player available at that position? So at running back, it's Jeremiyah Love. Defensive end is going to be Reuben Bain or David Bailey. I don't know. But I do not trust the Jets. I do not trust the Cardinals 3 weeks from today.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Jim Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com. We'll get his thoughts on these moves. Plus, he was at the owners' meetings in Arizona and talked to all these people. So we'll ask him his thoughts on that. Finely Tuned craft beer for finely tuned fans. Tennessee Brew Works is the official craft beer of the offseason coverage here on 102.5 The Game. Jim Wyatt joins us coming up next live from the Omni Nashville Hotel. This is Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel. The owners' meetings have, they've wrapped up in Arizona. The Titans portion, of course, was earlier this week when GM Mike Borgonzi, head coach Robert Saleh spoke, and our man Jim Wyatt was there. You can find his work at TennesseeTitans.com. Jim, what's up? How you doing?
Not too much. I appreciate that Anita Baker lead in there.
Yes. That's good stuff right there here.
Just relaxing. That brought me back a little bit to my college days.
You've had a couple of months now. I don't know how much you've gotten to be around Robert Saleh with him transitioning and moving and all that stuff with his family, but you got to spend some time with him earlier this week. What's kind of been your vibe so far about the new Titans coach?
Oh, man, it's funny you ask me that because I was just on the verge of hitting the button on a Robert Saleh story that I just got through writing, and then I ran out of time, and I thought I'd file it after we did this interview. And my vibe from him is he's really relaxed and he's feeling good. He said he bought a house in Nashville. He's got his kids in school. Some of them signed up for AAU. He's back to lifting and eating right. He said he got down to probably 205 when he was when he finished his first year with the Jets because of a lot of stress. He lost about 25 pounds. He's now 230, trying to get up to 240. He's bulking up again. So I think from a health standpoint, he feels good. From a family standpoint, he feels like he's in the right place. And from a team standpoint, I think he feels like he's got the right people around him, from the GM to his staff and now players. So life is good for Saleh. I mean, buddies of mine that covered him with the Jets saw him and say, looks like a completely different person, like he's relaxed and in a really good place.
He comes across, and the reason like Joe and I liked him so much is he comes across as the no-nonsense, loves football, wants guys that love football. He said he wants to play fast and violent. And, you know, I'd be lying to you if I said that didn't remind me of a former Titans coach a little bit, and Mike Vrabel. Do you get kind of that sense that obviously he's a different coach, he's a different person, but that is the persona that he wants to bring to this team?
Well, he is all about physicality. And as far as Vrabel goes, and obviously they're both defensive-minded coaches, he's different from a personality standpoint. I mean, Vrabel, you know when he's around, and he is very outspoken about a lot of things. I think Robert, even though he is known for being kind of a motivator and an emotional guy, if you're giving good rousing speeches to get people fired up, he's not a real a guy that brings a lot of attention to himself. He's got a different way that he approaches things. But yeah, he wants his team to play a certain way on Sundays, and some of that way might remind people of the way the Titans team played under Vrabel. I think what Robert Saleh needs to do, and what the plan is for the team to do, is to get this offense at a level that plays a certain way as well. And I think having Brian Daboll on the staff certainly is going to help do that.
We're talking to Jim Wyatt on the Chasing Big Joe show. Jim, I kind of ordered you last time you were on to go tell Mr. Borgonzi and Mr. Saleh that I'm a big fan of their work so far. Did you go do that?
I did, yeah. And they were very appreciative of that. I actually took a couple of days off feeling like they kind of reached where they needed to be after hearing that. They got your approval.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I knew you'd get the word to them, so thank you. No, look, You know this. I mean, for the couple of years, I mean, we on this show, we've been very hard on this football team, and whether right or wrong or not. But I just think, and not because you're on, Jim, I just think they're doing everything perfectly now. I mean, they got the coach that we wanted. The GM knows what he's doing. Great free agent signing. You're setting yourself up to go forward. I mean, I don't know if you feel it because you were with the team, you're employed by the team. I get that. But I tell you, the pulse now, I mean, and the launch of the new jerseys, there's something different now, and it feels good in the city with what the Titans are doing right now.
Yeah, and I'll say every offseason brings a different optimism no matter what's going on, just because people are just naturally want to be optimistic and want things to go well. I have to be honest. There have been times in recent years, not that long ago, where I wondered when or if things were ever going to get better. Like, just because the team just didn't felt like it was so far off from a roster standpoint. I wondered some about people making decisions, and I don't feel that way anymore. Like I feel like, and a lot of it I have to say starts with Mike Berganzi. Just because I watch him work, I know how he is. He's all about football. He is a grinder. He's one of these guys that probably needs to take more time off, but he doesn't because he's so interested in building this thing right. And, so to have him in place, I think, was a big step. And then he obviously, I think, did a good job in hiring a head coach. And the head coach and Berganzi worked together to build a good staff. I like some of the moves that were made in free agency. I think the quarterback's got the right makeup. You need to have a guy like that to push the team. And I'm as optimistic as I've been in a while about the direction things are headed. Now you got to win, and
right.
And that's the big thing in the fall is this team signed 21 players in free agency. They traded for 2 more. Like, the roster is going to look a lot different, but I firmly believe this time that things are moving in the right direction, and the Titans are headed up.
I love it. I know you do radio shows across the country. What's the common denominator question you get asked from markets outside of the Tennessee area?
Yeah, and I just got off one just a little while ago in Washington D.C. I mean, and the main thing they wanted to talk about was the new stadium and how soon Nashville will get a Super Bowl. And then the next question after that is, who are the Titans picking in the draft? Are they taking Jeremiyah Love? Question after that, they asked me about Cam Ward and whether I believe in him. So those were the 3 hot-button issues with them. But, yeah, across the league, I did a lot of interviews this past week from the owners' meetings from people all over the country, and they all want to know about Nashville Stadium, the uniform, logo change, just the different vibe coming out of this team. And everything's positive right now, but you got to keep it that way once September and October roll around.
Jim Wyatt is with us from TennesseeTitans.com. You look at some of the offseason moves, and some were made yesterday. KJ Osborne is a guy that was signed as likely a depth piece, but a veteran, has been around a while. When you look at this new-look receiver room with Ridley staying and with the additions that have been made, do you see improvement on paper without having seen anything on the field yet? Obviously, Wan'Dale coming in is a big signing, and he knows Brian Dable.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know that they're done yet. I think Wan'Dale Robinson certainly been given a who has done it before and plays a couple of different positions. I think just having Tim DK and Alec Ayoman going into year 2 should help. I think getting Ridley back was important just because he has done it before, because he has some speed, because he's got such a good relationship with Cam. And then I think, even a guy like KJ Osborne signed yesterday, I mean, he's a contender to at least be a solid 5 for you. So I think it's got a potential to be a good group. I still think that is a position that's going to have to just keep getting better. You can't do everything in one off season, and I think as we move forward, I think we want even more dynamic players at that position.
All right, Jim, you got a lot of pull over there, and don't say you don't because we know you do. So I need you guys to stop sending out things on April 1st. Like you sent out yesterday that you guys signed Hendon Hooker. I didn't respond because I thought somebody was playing a joke, right? April 1st. So I need you guys to do it on the 31st or the 2nd, right? I mean, so going forward, now you know for next year, okay?
Yeah, I got that from a couple of people wondering if that was real. I mean, that certainly made a lot of people happy. And
sure.
But let's face it, Hendon Hooker's coming in here to battle for a number 3 spot. Because the starter's going to be Cam Ward. I know both Mike Berganzi and Robert Saleh certainly didn't want to dismiss Will Levis in the conversation when talking about the backup. But you bring Mr. Trubisky in here, you would think to be the backup. So then people say, well, why is Hendon Hooker here? I think you're just trying to give yourself as many options as possible. I suspect some other teams are interested in Levis. And we'll see what transpires here over the course of the next couple of weeks leading to the draft. But if Levis is traded, then you got Hooker here. If he's not traded, those two guys can battle it out. I personally like Levis. I feel like he's in a tough situation here from the coaching staff standpoint, from what the team was like standpoint. He didn't help himself either, but
right.
He's still. I mean, if it's a battle between Levis and Hooker, I'd put my money on Levis. I think he gives the best chance to win the game. I just don't know that he's going to be here, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens.
Have you, I don't know, I'm not saying you're a doctor, but any reports, I know Cam had the injury in the last game versus Jacksonville. Is there a timetable? You can't answer this. I don't know, I'm asking the question, but any word about his rehab or anything?
The only thing, I'm not a doctor, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express, and I was out in Phoenix. But I will say that they've been very tight-lipped as far as what they said about him, other than he is progressing and on track. That's the terminology that they've used. But I think they were fortunate. I mean, it's very unfortunate that he got hurt at all and had to spend any time rehabbing. But the thing is he had time just to rest. He wasn't in that sling very long.
Right.
He's already started throwing. That's something that they have acknowledged, too, that he started throwing. And I think just each step along the way, he's just going to keep getting better. But I don't see that being a concern at all as the offseason goes on.
Well, that's good. And if I've talked to Brian Dable, I'm going to say, look, one thing, take away from me. Do not have in the playbook any design runs for Cam Ward. We had a 3-hour show one day, Jim, after he got injured. I don't like design runs for your franchise quarterback. Now, if he scrambles and it's the heat of the moment, I get that. But don't design run, because that's what that was, and look what happened. I'm just not a fan of that, especially when that guy is your future.
Yeah, I have to say I agree. Like, I know you can do some of that stuff, and you can get a quick, 8-10 yards maybe, or catch
right.
him off guard. But I have to wonder if it's a bang for, if you get your bang for your buck there, whether the whole risk reward thing is that, yeah, maybe you can catch a team by surprise and
right.
pick a quick 8 yards. But in the grand scheme of things, you need him to be healthy. Does he need to run and scramble more? I think maybe yes. But he's got to get down. He's got to get out of bounds. I don't want to see him lowering his shoulder and trying to bowl for extra yards. He doesn't need to prove to anybody he's tough. He needs to be healthy. And so I will say I'm with you on that.
Thank you, buddy. Last question. Where were you when Tyler Tanner almost made that three-pointer versus Nebraska?
I started off on my couch. I ended up on my floor. And I was so disappointed. I mean, but it shouldn't have come down to that. I mean, you can't count on a miracle shot like that to win it. It almost went in. Vanderbilt just didn't play like itself the first half of that game, and then they got to where they needed to be perfect at the end, and they weren't. But I guess what disappoints me, because it was such a good, fun season to watch them. I think they have a really good team. I think this is a potential Final Four team, and to see how things played out the rest in that region, the rest of the way. Vandy plays Iowa. I think they could have beaten Iowa. I think they could have beaten Illinois, but you just got to play well when it matters, and they didn't take advantage of what could have been a great situation. I looked at what Tennessee did. Tennessee didn't do anything special. I know people talk about they made a great run to the Elite Eight. They beat a Miami Ohio team that probably shouldn't have been determined. They beat a Virginia team that was not, tried to give it away at the end. They played Iowa State without their best player, and then they got to Michigan, and we all saw what happened there. But the thing they did, and I give them credit for, is they won the games like that you're supposed to win.
Right.
And Vandy should have beaten Nebraska. Vandy, I think, wins that game in any other regional site. And I think they beat Nebraska 8 out of 10 games, but because a couple of guys didn't show up at the most important time, they lose and need a last-second shot to win it. So, yeah, I was crushed by that. I'm still getting over that flaw. But I feel very good about the program and the head coach, and hope that Tyler Taylor's coming back.
Jim, I got one more Titans question for you before we let you go. Mike Borgonzi said best player available, and he said that multiple times to you all when he talked earlier this week, that was kind of what they were looking at when it came to the pick at 4. Robert Saleh said edge rushers or playmakers or game changers too, and so I respect all that. Looking at the 4 guys that continue to be linked to the Titans, I think we can all agree if they walked away with one of those guys, everybody should feel good. With that said, you saw what Eddie George did for Steve McNair. You saw what Chris Johnson did for Vince Young and Kerry Collins, and obviously what Derrick Henry did for Mariota and Tannehill during their times here. Looking at Love as that playmaker, game-changing offensive guy, do you feel like that may be what Cam Ward needs going into year 2?
Well, it's funny. I do these things, and I sometimes hope I do them, and nobody listens. Like I hope the guy would never listen to my interview saying what I ought to do, because he knows so much more football than I do. Same with Robert Saleh. Same with all these scouts. I'm deferring to them as far as it goes to football knowledge. But if you're asking me, since I write for the team, and you asked me to be on the station to give my opinion, I am going to give my opinion. And I think I would pick Jeremiyah Love. I think, and part of it's people always trying to dismiss running back, and running back's too high at number 4 because of Eddie George and his impact on this organization, because of Chris Johnson, his impact, Derrick Henry. All those guys were responsible for the Titans having the number 1 seed in the AFC and a chance to win the Super Bowl each of those years. They didn't lose those years because of the running back. They lost because of other things. I think Jeremiyah Love has a chance to be the best player coming out of this draft. I like the looks of Bailey. I like the looks of Reese. I like Bain. Sonny Styles. All those guys intrigue me, but I can't sit here and say any of those guys are going to be the next Devon Curtis. I thought Abdul Carter would be an absolute wrecking ball coming into this season. His impact was somewhat minimal. So I'm taking the best player, and the best player I think is going to be Jeremiyah Love. But there's no guarantee he's going to be there at 4, because
True.
Some other 3 may decide the same thing. And but I think Jeremiyah Love and what he would mean to Cam Ward, this offense, and this team, I wouldn't pass him up.
Jim, good stuff. Appreciate it as always. I'm with you on the Vanderbilt comments as well. Hopefully they can continue to build and Tanner comes back. But we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Okay, y'all have a good Easter weekend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com is where you can find his work. We'll react to that coming up next, live from the Omni, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
And the best players, I think, is going to be Jeremiyah Love. But there's no guarantee he's going to be there at 4.
Well done, Dr. Crane.
Jim Wyatt joining us a few minutes ago. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday. I think you got, look, we were all on the Reuben Bain train. And if Ruben Bain ends up here, we're going to be happy about it.
Yeah. No, I'm good. It's interesting
but
to
I
see.
Think I do agree. I think Love is the best player, and you got to help the quarterback.
Well, I think the takeaway from me of that, Jim sounds more upbeat now than he has in the last 3 to 4 years.
I agree.
And I think that goes to the fact that, look, we were on the solid train. Look, we thought because of the relationship between Borgonzi and Matt Nagy, that'd be the deal. But we wanted, we want solid. We want a guy who's just going to ride your butt every single day, but you know he loves you. And that's we researching these guys who played for Solid. There's so many people that loved him, and the Jets were a bad situation. Now he's here. He's a guy, and just it sets the tone for the entire facility and players, and then Borgonzi is doing great. I'm telling you, I've been here since '97 covering this football team when they were the Oilers. This is a good of a vibe I felt in a long time. What's going over there at whatever it's called now?
In 2018, when Mike Vrabel got hired, and you had J-Rob in place and Vrabel in place, I had this feeling of peace when it came to this football team that I hadn't had in a long time. I liked Malarkey. He didn't blow me away. He was necessary.
Yeah.
He cleaned up Wisenhunt's mess and got the culture right, and J-Rob said that on our show. But when Vrabel came in and you had John in place, I was like, they're ready now. These are the guys that are going to build this and take this back to where it needs to be. And there were good times, and they got close. I didn't feel that peace for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I knew it was a train wreck. We talked about the owner. We talked about, because and look, to an extent, I understood, and I should have said this, why she was doing what she did, because when you see something going so poorly, the first thing you want to do is fix it.
Yep. Yeah.
But the biggest thing to admit and the hardest thing to admit is I can't fix it. I need to find the people that can fix it. And I think that she has that. Now, we haven't seen them play a game yet. But with Borgonzi now in a true role as a general manager and bringing in, I don't care what he did with the Jets, bringing in Saleh as the head coach, I have that peace with this football team that I haven't had in a long time.
Oh, that might be the best thing you've ever said about them.
I just
feel good about it.
I feel like I'm excited. I'm ready to go see games. I want to be at as many games as possible in the last year of the stadium. So I mean, this could be a fun thing.
I'm with you. I like the direction, I like the positivity. I like the avenue they got it. If they pick 4 and get Love bringing in here, everybody's raving about him. I'm not going to be happy until they call his name 3 weeks from tonight and say we got Jeremiyah Love. Is not remember the time. I love it. It harkens back to 2008 with Chris Johnson. You asked a question about that, and what Chris provided for a young football team was amazing for that. Even the 2008 season, and it was great. It felt good, and they got it going now. Now we got to see. Look, they can go 0-17 with all this can be done. But I like what they got going forward. They got, you know what I like? They got football guys in there who do it the old blood and guts way, man. Yep. We're not trying to make you happy, win you over. We're just here to get it done. So I like it. I got something for you coming up.
Okay.
What do you think is the first viral sports moment that's ever happened? The first viral. Now, we're not talking 1980s, obviously, even in the 90s. But the one that happened 20-something years ago, around this time, is the first viral sports moment that we remember.
Okay.
I don't see what you think it is.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about that coming up next in hour number 2. Chasing Big Joe live at the Omni at Barlines, 102.5 The Game.